Hey, my name's Rae, and you're watching RaeOfBooks, and welcome to my April TBR. Once again, I know I owe y'all some wrap-up videos. I promise I am going to do them. I'm going to film my March wrap-up video right after this one, so if we see the same outfit, don't say nothing. But let's get into the books that I'm going to be reading this beautiful spring month of April. The first book that I want to get through this month is Our Share of Night by Mariana Enriquez. This is the chunky monster that I was incredibly excited to read. I still am incredibly excited to read it, but it has been a hard one. I am about 325 pages into it, and the action didn't start to really kick off until like the 200th page. So this one has primarily been my at-home reading book because it's too big for me to bring on the bus, and it follows a father-son duo. I want to say in Buenos Aires, but I am completely and totally unsure. All I know is that they're somewhere in South America. And this father-son duo are trying to prevent the son from being possessed or taken over by the secret society in which the father's wife was a part of until she was murdered, perhaps? Anywho, it's a really good book. It's a little bit confusing. It's very wordy, but I am very much enjoying it, and I hope to get through it this month. The second, like the absolute second I finish reading Our Share of Night, I'm going to be jumping into The Subtle Serpent by Peter Tremayne. This is the fourth book in the Sister Fidelma series, which is set in 7th century Ireland and follows this homegirl right here named Sister Fidelma, who is a sort of detective, lawyer, law advocate, and it's absolutely fascinating to me because I'm a medieval history person. In this one, Fidelma is trying to figure out who murdered a woman and left her headless corpse in the drinking well of a very remote abbey. And the other thing that's going on is that there is a merchant ship in which the entire crew and goods have disappeared, and she's trying to figure out if these two events are connected. I wish I could read this one concurrently with Our Share of Night, but unfortunately, or fortunately, both of these authors are incredibly wordy. There's a lot of description, there's a lot of subtleties in the text, so I absolutely cannot read this one and Our Share of Night at the same time. So the second I finish that one, I am jumping right into this one. And the third book that I hope to get through is another series, and it is the third book in the House Witch. This is the last book in the House Witch trilogy, and I'm absolutely heartbroken that it is over, or going to be over once I finish this one. If you haven't heard me ramble about the House Witch before, essentially it is a fantasy series that is an amazing combination of humor and cooking and romance and all sorts of really good stuff. Essentially the main character, Finn or Finley, is the royal cook for the king and queen, and it's just, I wish I could accurately explain just how flippin' good this whole series is. Anywho, he's a house witch, he's a cook, he is the perfect, grumpy, cheerful, takes no bullshit, has a good sense of humor though, character, and this series just makes me so happy. So I am going to be super bummed when I finish this one this month, but I have to. I have to finish it this month because it's time. And then, since I might just, have problems with myself just a wee bit, I'm going to try to read volumes 1 through 10 of Saga. So, I fell way behind in the whole Saga reading, and I bought volume 10, I want to say maybe in January, but then realized I have no idea what the heck has gone on. How in the world his homegirl, is her name Maple? I don't even remember her name anymore. Oh no. What is her name? Hazel. Her name's Hazel. I don't know how Hazel is grown up. I don't know who this is. I also don't know who these people are on the cover. So I'm going to try and reread the entire series. Also, I heard that volume 11 is already out, so I need to catch up. And if you've never read Saga before, it is essentially a space-themed comic book series that follows a mixed race alien family whose love is incredibly forbidden, and they have a daughter who they're trying to protect, and they're also trying to protect their relationship, and everything and everyone is just against them. So it's a really good series. There's so much drama. It's made me cry several times. It has moved me to laughter several times. It's a series I really, really love. I just cannot for the life of me remember what went down in all the volumes up until volume 10. And of course, I have to have some themed reads on deck as well. April is National Climate Awareness Month, so I was browsing the shelves and I came across this book. It's called We Are the ARK by Reynolds, and it's returning our gardens to their true nature of acts of restorative kindness, which is what ARK stands for. From what I understand, this is an anti-gardening book. So instead of focusing on like the plants that are easy to take care of, it's reintroducing native plants back into their natural habitats, making sure that the critters and the animals that are part of your garden, because I think she's uncomfortable with the word garden, are being taken care of and watered. And it sounds strange. It sounds stranger the more I try to explain it, but it sounds really good. It seems really interesting. I'm not sure I 100% agree with everything, because I do like the idea of having a garden that is like my space, but I do understand that we are in desperate need in this world to have gardens be spaces where animals and bugs and everything can thrive as needed. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. It sounds very convoluted, but let me just tell y'all, like the font is big, okay? These are big words. This is like size 14 font. They're incredibly beautiful illustrations. Like, I think I got this. I could read this. I could do this. It's gonna be done. And it is National Poetry Month as well, so I will be reading Magical Negro Poems by Morgan Parker. I myself am not a poetry girly. Poetry is one of those things that when I was like an angsty teenager, I thought I could be really, really good at. But what I did not realize is how much hidden stuff goes on in poems. So I'm not a poetry person, because I always feel like I think I understand it, but then someone will tell me like, oh, but the theme was about this mushroom trip that the author took when she was 14 years old. And poems are hard. Poems are really hard for me, but I've heard incredibly good things about Morgan Parker poems. I have fallen in love with all of the what are they called? Like the sections, the contents, and like the sections in this. Like the poems titles are so good. There's Black Woman for Beginners. We are at the house that holds the table at which, yes, we will happily take a goddamn seat. Toward a new theory of Negro propaganda. Like there's just so many really good titles. Like section 1's called Let Us Now Praise Magical Negroes. Section 2 is Field Negro Field Notes, and section 3 is Popular Negro Punchlines. So it sounds like gold. I have been trying to read a poem or 3 each morning. I haven't made it very far. I'm on page 11, but I have high hopes for myself. I believe I will read this. Even if I don't fully understand everything, I will still read this. And that's it. Those are all the things that I hope to read this beautiful month of April. Let me know what it is that you plan on reading this month. If you don't keep a monthly TBR, let me know what it is that you are currently reading. And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed hearing me ramble about books, please give this video a thumbs up. I believe it helps me out in the algorithm somewhere. And if you ever want to hear me ramble and babble about books ever again, please hit that subscribe button. It really does mean the world to me. I hope everyone is having wonderful days and reading wonderful books, and I'll catch you in the next one. Doodles!